Hey, good evening, everyone. What's up? What's up, Pork Chop? Brian Paul, Jay Dandy, Nathan Mace. Brian, to answer your question a little more clear, you were talking about using music for your videos. Yeah, I use that free music archive a lot of time to try and find songs. It lists what the license agreement is without using the pro plan. Um, Sometimes I find some music that I'm able to use completely um, and still monetize my videos. Other times I find a song and YouTube splits the monetization between the two of us. And sometimes I make a video and all the music, all the money from AdSense goes to the artist. That doesn't really bother me. I don't make my living doing this, and my videos don't get enough views that I make a ton of money off a single video. So if an artist, gets money for their video or their, man, I can't talk, gets money for me using their song, that doesn't bother me. Whereas, if I did this for a living every day and like each video was going to pay my weekly, bills, then I might have to be a little more cautious. Uh, there is certain music that would get blocked on YouTube, but most of the time it just gets monetized by the artist. So that's about it. What's up, Large Marge? What's up, Rick? Eric Anderson, how's it going? Sam Diaz, Ron Stuff, what's up? Uh, oh, Large said I've got some new panniers at the shop. So, got some Swift panniers that I'm going to hopefully test out on an overnight and maybe probably take on our big trip. I actually just put that rack on my bike to be able to come pick them up when they came in and try them out. So, cool. I'll probably swing by tomorrow when you guys open, if it's not raining. Uh, oh, Rick, remember when we did the first time I had Rick on the live stream? I played all his videos while we chatted in the background, and he used popular songs. So, like, since the live stream used Rick videos that had songs, the live stream got demonetized, which again is not a big deal. It was. What's up, Scott? Eddie? Brian? Tony? Oh, a lot of people in here tonight. Arthur? Mason? Yeah. I said in the first comment, I don't know, I don't think you could scroll back before you log in, can you? Before to the chat. But I actually was looking at the dot tracker for the Tour Divide. If you don't know, it's the race from Banff, what is that, Alberta in Canada? Banff somewhere in Canada, all the way down to the Mexican border in New Mexico. And the way a lot of people follow the race is by watching the live trackers. So I was checking it out to see who some of the people that I know and see where they are. Lael Wilcox, for example. So kind of interesting to check on. I think the leaders should finish in under 2 weeks. So here's a view of the route. And here you go, Jay Dandy, starting off this stream strong with some maps. I don't know what this stuff is down here. Maybe someone else could tell me. Like, it's showing people with times. I don't know if there's somehow, I don't know what that is, but the actual leaders are up here. So, and then it shows like where the record pace is too, which I didn't realize, which is kind of cool. So, a couple people ahead of the record pace so far, but Rick. Oh, gotcha, Large. So Large said the people down there are people who are starting from the south and going north. I had no idea that was a thing. I am definitely not an expert on the Tour Divide. I was actually thinking about this a little bit. Every year, like, I kind of see the news, but for some reason, I don't know if it's just who I follow now and they're doing it, but it just seems like it's gained more publicity. But it could again just be like me being more in tune with certain things in the um, alt cycling, gravel cycling, endurance cycling world, whatever you want to call it. So I was trying to see because I thought Ron's woman, Aria, was doing it, but I didn't see her name on the list where I'm looking. So, oh, wait, there she is right there. Now I do, of course. Didn't see it before I went live, and now I'm going live. So she's done 509 miles. Nice. So if you zoom out and you put your thing over the name, does it highlight in any way, or can you just, oh, okay, so you click on them and it goes to, I haven't messed with this much. I've watched a little bit in the past, but I don't know. That was, oh, this shows the whole history of where they've been and when. I see. Okay, so that's 2 hours and 20 minutes ago. Anyways, yeah. Oh, Jay Dandy. Oh, hey, Chris, what's up? You guys all got the answer for me. See, this is why I do this to you. Said I'm not here to teach, I'm here to learn. Rick, she did. They did a great, Lael Wilcox did a great video of her like whole bike setup. Large shared it in the Discord. If you haven't seen it yet, it's worth checking out. Like, kind of goes through everything. But yeah, these are keep my personal stuff in here. But Chris said with pros entering, it brings some more media, and that's probably it because even though he's not a pro technically, anyway, I guess he's sponsored. But I follow. Oh man, I just said his name to Dave, who's standing. Alex Howes, who used to ride for EF's, riding it, and then Ted King's a big name, and I follow him on Instagram, so I've been seeing more, I guess, Instagram updates of people who are riding it. I didn't check before I came on. We've been working on stuff down here, making some other videos, but Ted King went into the hospital today. He wasn't. He was thrown up by the side of the road, and he said he was just really worried, so he rode back to Butte and went into the hospital. So I'm wondering how he is getting on now. And then I know Alex Howes went 150 miles out of his way to get a wheel fixed. So, yeah, wild race. If you don't know about it, it's worth like reading the bikepacking.com article or looking up, search a couple YouTube videos. It's pretty interesting. It would be such an awesome thing just to go and do for fun, if you had the time. Definitely not doing it in 2 weeks, doing it in 2 months or whatever it would take. But so yeah, someone answer me this. Jay Dandy just said the Grand Depart starts in Canada. So if you start from the south, is it part of the race? Like, can you beat the people who are going north, or do you have to go north to south for it to officially count? Or do all the fast people do that because it's just the fastest way to go? So hey, RMC, thanks a lot. Um, Sam, I actually haven't seen that, and I've followed a lot of Unbound stuff. Sam said, "What do people think about that guy that cheated at Unbound?" I actually didn't see that, so yeah, I'll have to look that up. But I watched a number of videos about Unbound too. I actually liked, surprisingly GCN's a lot because their guy had such a struggle. Connor Dunn went out there and he got in the pro division, and man, did he just completely bonk. Ran out of water. Someone actually rode to the aid station and rode water back to him. It was interesting. Watched Katie, however you pronounce her last name, from England, Kankabira's video. Do you know what I'm talking about, dude? No idea. Yeah, I don't. I just read her name and I never actually try and pronounce it. And then Francis Cades, they were kind of more just riding. They weren't racing. But yeah, I've watched a few other ones. I was curious if people would want to do that, like in the mud years. Like, what do you guys think? Would you want to do Unbound where you have to run through like 4K of mud, like not able to ride your bike? Anyways, I'll come back to that because get to the comments. Jay Dandy said Alex is still riding. Um, yeah, Mason said you have to high five everybody you pass going the other direction. Oh, and Eric said you think north to south is faster, so that's probably what people are doing. Yeah. And then on the Unbound thing, Rick wrote he was actually bound. Oh man, north to south is downhill. Yeah, just look at the map. Huh. Pudgy, what's up, Pudgy? He said Katie Kookaburra. Okay, yeah, Katie Kookaburra. Wow, yeah. Jay Dandy said you could ride it any time with a spot tracker and it'll count for the record. Yeah, gotcha. Pudgy said or concubine. Oh, I just thought you said that joke. I just hadn't read it yet. The chat happens in real time. Dave's over here. He's asking me these questions, by the way. But uh, so they know what's going on. But I'm not just talking to an imaginary person. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, the chat happens pretty much in real time. The problem is they haven't seen they're responding late because the video is delayed. If that makes any sense. So That's what always makes it hard when we do bike photos and we're all talking about a bike picture. I've already had it up there and talked about it. The comments don't come through till 10 to 20, 30 seconds later. But no way around that I know of. It's got to go to space. Oh, Sam said the guy's bike broke and he took a Uber to the finish line. Oh, wow. That's, yeah, I guess that's, and he tried to pretend like it didn't happen. Yeah, took a cab, a Boston marathoner. Yeah. If you're not racing, mud adds to the adventure. Yeah. Me and Large were talking about it when we were riding the other day, and we're like, that's not crazy far over, like if you're doing the 200. But yeah, if you're racing, it sounds miserable. And then the people on the XL, that 350 miler, how they crossed back through different mud sections. I think I was following along with Ted King, like on his Instagram, he was posting, and yeah, that would be brutal. But then again, I would never enter a 350-mile race. So yeah, Jay Denny says I wouldn't want to walk 3 miles of mud during a race. Yeah. Jay Dandy thinks north to south is just the traditional route. A Uber. Scott said, speaking about Unbound, it would be interesting to see how folks decide between the two and how one versus the other benefits of Pro ETC. Dirty water route. I guess I have talked about doing an insanely long race, but yeah, like Unbound when they're doing the 350, the people who are racing it are, you know, not stopping. I think where if I ever did the dirty water route, I would do it more like the Tour Divide, where I would be still stopping to sleep. So it's Pride Month, so we're calling him Ted Queen. Chris said you took a Uber when you flatted during a race, but you DNF'd. Yeah, if you get in a Uber, it's DNF. Oh, Sam said the guy at Unbound was bragging about stuff on IG, and people saw him get in the car and called him out. What an idiot! Shane B said, "Kudos to the photographer at the Divide. They're putting in some effort." Yeah. Did you guys see the news about? And we were talking about this before the stream too. How Leo Wilcox is having no one around her this time because she's gotten disqualified for having media around her. Like they were helping her. I don't think there was ever any proof they gave her any help, but they still DQ'd her because it's all self-supported. So this year she wanted to go with no one around her, so there was no accusations, and she could kind of go for a fast time. I think it was in her gear breakdown video. She actually talked about her goal is to beat the men's record, which I believe is still held by the late Mike Hall, with probably the greatest endurance rider ever, I'd say at this point. He died doing the ride across Australia, fell asleep, and went and crossed the lane and got hit by a car. Well, Mason S says, for some reason, I have a special love for any bike race where people run with their bicycles. I've got a sport for you. It's called cyclocross. You will love that. Yeah, we were just feet for brains. We were just talking about Lael. She ride the entire route in reverse to get to the finish? I mean, to the start. So started south, rode all the way north to ride the route. I know in the past years she's ridden all the way down from Alaska to start it too. So she's so amazing. You watch her. I was just talking about how like cheery she always is. You know, she'll show herself like fixing something on her bike on Instagram, and she's just smiling, and she's like, "Just fixing this flat. Will you look at this beautiful view?" you know, just like the most positive person in the world, and talking about how fun it is, and the goal is to have fun. But how could you? I mean, 200. I think don't you have to go 200 miles a day to break Mike Hall's record? I think it is 200 miles a day over the Rockies. you know, we're not talking about 200 miles a day. I mean, which would be tough no matter what. But professional cyclists could do that on the road. But yeah, this is wild stuff, and everything breaking down. Your bike, all self-supported. So Eric said ultra running has had cheaters too, with people feeling pressure to keep up their image on social media. Huh. Yeah, it's interesting because people are more interesting when they're human. Like I think that's why Ted King and Alex Howes are like fun to follow on their social media because they're like honest. Like Ted King, when he got up this morning, he showed his swollen face and all that stuff, and then he stopped. But he's like, "Well, I was just puking by the side of the road. This is the stuff that is not fun." And then the next footage is him in the hospital. So Ron said 200 miles a day. He'll take Amtrak. FIFA Brendan, you said, do you think it's more than 200 miles a day? Yeah, it's around there though, right? Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what it does break down to. My thoughts when trans women win a race, they won the race. That's my thoughts. So yeah, it's only an issue if you're trying to hate someone. I think. Oh, Mason, you said you do love cyclocross. That wasn't supposed to be a joke at your expense. It was just a cyclocross joke, which actually over the last few years I've watched a ton of and gotten way more into as well. So, oh, you were saying a recent Grand Tour where racer's frame broke and he ran with it till the team caught up. Yeah, Chris Froome is famous for that. I think was it Alpe d'Huez? It was one of the most famous climbs, right? Alpe d'Huez. Yeah, his I can't remember what his mechanical was. Did he just flat? Yeah, he flatted or dropped a chain, and he was winning the tour. And yeah, there's that famous footage of Chris Froome running up Alpe d'Huez. So yeah, so it's like a 220 average to break the record. Yeah, I can't even imagine because doesn't it show in like when you click on someone, isn't like the average pace like 10 miles an hour or something? Oh, it's not showing. It's showing how fast they're going currently, which is averaging and stop. So it's hard to say because like, oh, I should put this up when I talk about it, huh? Okay, so like this Brad right here is doing 16.5 miles per hour, but I think if I remember correctly, their transponders ping the satellites every 5 minutes. So, I don't think these would be good numbers to go by, but because if they stopped to fix something anywhere and there, you guys would probably know better than I do. What are you guys talking about now? Bam Bam or Pebbles? Trans Am or Z28? Oh, some of the nose candy would get pudgy through the Rockies. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that it does plot the men's record on there, and yeah, what a couple of them are up there, Ulrich and Jans. But yeah, they're not even halfway through yet, so a lot could happen before. What is the name of the city it finishes in? Antelope Wells. All right. Was there a guy? Oh, Eddie said, was there a guy doing the route with his dog? I didn't see that, but it wouldn't surprise me. My goal is always to find a kitten on one of our bike tours, and then I put it in the basket, and then it lives as my bike cat. Every time we see it when we're out riding and we see a cat run around, we're like, "Trail kitty!" It's someone's house cat. Scoop up and like tie into my bag. What else do we got? Oh, I think this is the other big news. Has anybody been watching? Oh, that's not on the screen at all. Has anyone been watching the Netflix series Tour de France Unchained? Alter control. Yes, yeah, I know some things to make that fit better. I don't have I don't have Netflix, but Aaron does. So I've seen two episodes. Saw one over the weekend, and then we watched one yesterday. But I'm enjoying it. I'm trying to separate myself from being a total fan. Like I watch every stage I can, or I at least watch the highlights. So for me, it's like I can only think of it from my experience. But I was trying to think like if you were just some casual person, would you enjoy this? No idea. Yeah, my cats. I walked out. Mine were. I don't have them anymore, but they were house cats. So when I walked, I mean indoor cats. When I walked outside, their claws went right into me. So, hey, what's up, Go Go? Hello from the other side of the world. Which side? Sam Diaz said the Formula One ripoff. I heard people say that. I don't. I haven't watched the Formula One documentary either. Like I said, I don't even have Netflix. But I guess watching a couple episodes of that would make sense to see if did it make me interested and is it done well enough that I could pay attention to Formula One, even though it's something I don't. Auto racing is something I don't care about that much, you know. But obviously, I mean, to call it a ripoff, I mean, I don't know. There's a million things that are influenced by other things. I don't know if there's any connection between the people who made it. It might not even be different people, right? Oh, Gogo's in the Philippines. Awesome. Oh, Mason, you said there's a house cat that hangs out. There's one like that on the hiking bike. Do you ever see that cat, Dave? It's a little bit past. Where would that be? Kind of by Monroe Falls. There's one that where the houses are on the other side. There's one that comes up and hangs out. And we stopped a couple times and petted it. Then a couple other people did. Then someone was like, "That cat's always hanging around here." And I was like, "Ah, damn, not my trail cat." Flat Earth Dave. Oh, Sam, you said you haven't watched either. He called it the Formula One or ripoff. It hasn't watched either. High Desert. Is that about bicycles? Doesn't sound like it. No, it's a crossing between Goodfellas and Raising Arizona. Yeah, if it's not about cameras or bikes, I'm probably not going to see it. And everyone gets mad at me. They tell me to watch TV shows, and I say I'm not going to watch them, and they get mad at me. I don't get it. Is it near the creepy kid in the woods? No, it's not near that story. I'm amazed you remember that. Yeah, I don't know what this thing is. Like, people are like, you should watch a series. You'd love it. And I'm like, one, you don't know me that well. Two, I even if it's really good and I would, I'm just not going to. Like, I don't spend a lot of time watching TV. Like, I watch YouTube videos when I eat lunch and a couple before I go to bed. A couple while drink my coffee, and that's about enough to cover my the bike stuff I want to watch and my nerdy photography stuff. Dimitri said you like the show, especially since they stopped showing the tour on TV here in Canada. Yeah, I think you have to subscribe to Flow Bikes to see the tour in Canada, or get a VPN and then just you know do what I do is watch GCN's coverage. I watch GCN's coverage by bouncing my servers off the UK. But last year for the tour, they blocked it somehow. I use ExpressVPN, and I actually called them, and all right, maybe I did one of those chat things. And the guy was trying to figure it out. He's like, they shouldn't be able to do that. It only blocked it on my Fire TV. The VPN still worked on my iPhone and my computer, but I want it on my I stand at my computer and work in the morning while I have it on, and that's part of the thing. So I ended up paying for NBC's coverage, but which is only $6 a month, and you can cancel any time. So not that big of a deal, but I just get used to the commentators from the UK, and I like it a little better because even though they do a little more explaining for the tour because they know more people are watching than usual, it's not as much as like the US coverage feels like they have to explain bike racing to you. And for someone who watches bike racing all year round, it just gets a little like annoying. That's another thing about the Tour de France documentary. I've heard two different, completely different sides from two different people where Lenke uh, said he felt like they weren't explaining it enough for the casual viewer. And then my friend Ryan Hugh, who is actually over in Italy right now, he just climbed the Stelvia climb today, which, if you know anything about that, is insane. 48 hairpins up and out in Italy. But anyways, Ryan said he felt like they were hammering it in your head about like all the nuances of bike racing. And the two episodes I watched, I felt like it was in the middle. I felt like it was enough to enjoy it without like bogging you down in too much details, but I also didn't feel like they were overly explaining it to someone like me who like follows it pretty intensely, watches it, reads articles about it, watches commentary on it, after the fact. So, anyways, what are you guys talking about? Will said, "I know you're in northeastern Ohio. Any favorite places to ride road in Cincy though?" I've only ridden into Cincy on the Little Miami Trail, which is like a classic bike trail. And then I've ridden around the city a little bit, but mostly to go to restaurants and breweries. And one time they canceled our car rental, so we had to ride up over one of the big hills to an airport. But yeah, so no, I don't have enough experience with like being outside the city in Cincinnati, like getting onto good roads in the country outside there or anything. Um, yeah, I've probably got 20-ish miles around the city and then just the bike path into it. So how can I do my show during the writer's strike? Yeah. Yeah, you could probably tell that there's no writers working for me tonight. Large said it's sounding like Ted might have to drop out. Ted King out of the Tour Divide. So that'd be a bummer. One, because I just like following him. I like following his social stuff. It's about me. How can I make this about me? Oh, Flow Bikes is $30 a month. Yeah, that's a bit steep. I think GCN. Isn't GCN only like 8 or 9 now? The introductory offer for the first year was like nothing. It was like $2 a month. But I think now if you subscribed, it'd be like $8 or $9.
It makes so much sense to do the yearly price of
Yeah,
60 or whatever.
yeah,
It's ridiculous.
yeah. GCN's like $60 for a full year, but then you have to also factor in VPN, which are what, like another $60 a year or something. For how much I watch it, yeah, $30 a month I would not do. I'd be annoyed with that. But to pay, 100 so bucks a year for something I have on all through the spring, summer, and fall, and then cyclocross season. So yeah, don't watch any. I don't really watch any of the mountain bike racing, but today I was seeing some of the highlights of the last World Series event. Don't they call them World Series instead of World Cups? The XC and the downhill. Do you watch any of that stuff?
Well, a little bit.
Yeah. Ah, thanks, Will. Glad you liked it. I thought you needed to prove you were a roadie to gain access to GCN. It's funny. It's one of those things I always talk about, but I don't think it's like that weird to be really into pro cycling and not be into racing because people watch football, American football, baseball, whatever have you, and they're like super into it and they never play it. So to me, it doesn't make more sense to be into the sport that I actually like. Like I ride bikes every day. Like it almost makes sense to why would I be more into professional cycling than I would be into football? But I get it if you're not into sports at all. Like that's just the thing. You don't care at all about sports, but I've always enjoyed sports. I just have stopped kind of following them because when I moved here, I didn't get cable TV. But yeah, the bike racing thing. I grew up watching the Tour de France. Like, didn't watch a bunch of other races. But yeah, just more and more got into it. But also, like, I've said this before, like, GCN, like, I don't watch a ton of their YouTube content anymore. Like, I like the racing channel because it's about racing. It's about the stuff I watch. I like the GCN show because it's like much more broad based about cycling. It's not just about roadie stuff. But most of their content, like just comparing stuff, like it just feels like it's all trying to sell brand new Pinarellos and stuff to me. And I just don't care. Like, I care about that stuff, like in the racing world, just like people are going to talk about like the footballs that they're using at the Super Bowl or, like when like equipment changes and baseball or anything like that. Like I care about it on that level, but I don't like lust after modern carbon race bikes. I don't care. Like, um, I can't get on my own old steel road bike because it's too slammed for me. So I like comfortable bikes to do adventures on. So yeah, I care about it in terms of like pro cycling and like time trial bikes, but I have zero desire to ever ride a time trial bike. But ever since he doesn't have to watch GCN as much.
GCN's been around long enough too that they're just recycling ideas
Mm.
every year.
Dave said that GCN's been around long enough that it feels like a lot of the ideas are getting recycled, and I agree. I think that's why I appreciate it more for like the news type stuff that they do. But yeah, I don't need to see them prove that they think skinny tires are faster anymore. Like, because what when they're wrong, but they have come around a little bit on certain things. But yeah, I just like cashing in on my cycling sports betting. I've always been like I'm like a minor gambler. Like I'll bet a friend something, but I've never been like a gambler. Like I don't know. Even going places with casinos, I'll be like, okay, I'll spend $30. I don't. eh,
Can you bet on cycling?
Oh, I'm sure you could bet on cycling. Yeah, I think there's fantasy cycling.
Really?
Yeah, I would probably actually really enjoy
Yeah, we should
that.
probably someday we should.
Yeah, we should be doing that. Yeah. Rick said GCN and a bottle of Jergens, and he's good. Hey, what's up, Diversity Love? Arthur, you said you don't race, but you also enjoy watching racing and both person and TV. I've talked about it a bunch of times too. Like the nuance of road cycling, I just think is fascinating. Um, yeah, I love it. It's if you don't watch bike racing, you probably just assume the fast everyone goes out and the fast person wins, and it's nothing like that. It's team dynamics and all kinds of stuff, strategy. Uh, the smartest team wins, depending on the race. There's a lot of luck involved too, but sprint to the finish. Oh, did I miss Eric's comment about downhill is super fun to watch? Yeah, I know they were talking about it a lot on the racing news show this week on GCN and the GCN show, and I'm like, and the UCI I think puts up highlights just on YouTube because I follow them, and I'm like, I should check it out. I mean, I might enjoy it. I'm not knocking mountain biking. I've just have never gotten into watching it. So, but again, like I said, I didn't used to watch cyclocross, and now I know a lot of the actors and watch it more and more. Um, Actually pay a little bit more attention to women's cyclocross than men's, and it's not because I'm a creep like Rick would probably think, but what's up, Eric? Eric said, show of hands, who in here can do a sweet bunny hop? I can't raise my hand. I've gotten better though. I was like, we were riding last Wednesday and like went over a bump, and I actually flat pedal bunny hopped pretty good on my rally. I think the gunner's getting me there. Like the mountain biking is like kind of getting me in. Where I like finally kind of understand what you need to do a little bit. So, Feet for Brain says it about road racing. It's road chess. Yeah, yeah. Bitch and donkey kicks. Shoe of hands is. Are you? I grant you guys some grace with your typos. So come on. Hey, what's up, Blackball? Oh, we got some new bike picks too. Let's check them out. Yeah, this is Gary Pearson. He's in Texas, right? Yeah, I believe it's in Texas. It's Mozzie. Mozzie, right? That's how you don't say Massey, do you? Mozzie, Massey. It's in between those two.
Not, no, Massey, Masai.
Yeah, the beach is looking really good. Mason says it's Mozzie. That's what I thought. Mozzie, Mozzie. You think it's Massey? Mazzy. Make Google say it.
Breakaway.
Oh, in Breakaway they say Massey?
I think so.
Breaking away.
For what?
Yeah. Let's see. I can't. Where's the thing where you make where Google says it? Drawing a blank. Oh well. Oh, Chris, you said you could manual your fat bike. It took about 3 months of trying. Then Sam Diaz said probably didn't need another bike, but came across a crazy deal for this, so he snapped it up. It's a Soma. Which one is this? Fog cutter. That looks pretty sweet. What did Google say? Mossy? Mossy. Well, you said it was in between. The way Google's pronouncing it, that's pretty in between. They're saying like mossy. Just a tiny bit of Z. Mossy. Right? Way to get
That's right.
mossy. Oh, so Mason S was exactly right. He spelled it Mozzzy. Yeah, pronunciation has never been my strong suit. Everyone here knows that. Oh yeah, I need to resize this because I had that other thing going on. There we go. And then Racer had a bike in here too, I believe. Said he picked us up for $100 today. A hardtail Diamondback. Brooke said he's eaten a lot of Somas but never rode one. I like them. I've always liked the Wolverine a lot. I think that's a cool bike. Yeah, what are those? Racer commented on the tires, but those are some narrow tires for this bike, aren't they? Also, we got some drink picks, or one drink pick from Rick. What'd you say you're drinking? Iced stinging nettle tea. I got stung by some of those picking them out of my garden today. Hate those things. Remember when we told Raymond about those and he had never heard of them? Oh yeah, I got a brew kettle white Raja, one of my favorites. Oh yeah, no autofocus. Yeah, stinging nettles must be better than in tea than they are when you come across them in the woods or in my garden. Or me and Dave worked on a farm for a long time. You'd brush those things across your leg. That feeling was no good. Well, that's why people always thought we were crazy for wearing pants all the time. But you work on a farm and you wear pants all the time. I also got some photos that I think I'll pull up from the weekend. I put them in the video, but I just flash them for a second. But yeah, Otis had his 6th anniversary party for Dirty River Bikes. Kind of had like a bike cruising. Calling it a bike show, but it's kind of like a classic car cruising is what I described it as, where everyone just kind of brought their bikes. Some people drove a number of bikes out. Some people rode in on their bikes like I did. And then we all just kind of like nerded out and talked about everybody's bikes and drank beer. So pretty much a perfect day. This is Dave Daly showing Funny Brad and Bergie his super skinny gravel tires. Those are the what they're like 28 gravel kings or 30 gravel kings or something like that. Can't quite read. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, Rick. I was saying I would really like to do this again and kind of tie it in with the channel a little more. I mean, Otis was on the live stream and talked about it in the midst of everything else we talked about, but it'd be cool to do a channel meetup ride and then do something like this. And like I said in the video, do bike photos with everybody. Like have it planned, have a little setup spot for it. Aaron and Micah chatting. Like it was cool too. Like I said, we all like kind of tried out everyone's bikes. You just asked about titanium bikes. Micah's standing right behind his titanium Atto in this photo. Pudgy has a titanium bear claw, so I know there are some people in the chat who have titanium bikes. I've never ridden one. Um, Nathan said you just did a ride like this, similar but pre 1992 bikes ending at your local shop. Yeah, what is the big event that they do? But I think they have to be even older than Eroica, where it's the event that started Strada Bianchi. But I think everything has to be before, everything on your bike has to be from before a certain date, and I can't remember what the date is for those. Oh yeah, Pudgy's is the Thunderhawk, titanium Thunderhawk. All right, Feet for Brains. Have a good night. Yeah, like a video do and tell me about your bike, get a photo, do kind of like a slow mo push shot of the person, all that kind of stuff that people do. Um, it would be fun because like that's what we did just in person. I just need to make myself focus on actually making the video. Naked bike cruising? I don't think so. That's DJ Dammit Otis with his felt in the background with the not matching fork because on the coffee ride he slipped on a wooden bridge and crashed and it broke the carbon fork. It was a crazy day. Oh yeah, Pathless Pedal was selling their titanium bear claw. Didn't he say it was because he hated the internal routing so much? Oh, then these are a couple in this photo of the bikes that Otis had on the stream. The Salsa, then that's his wife's All City Monsoon, Grill Monsoon, and then the Surly Midnight Special in the background there. Best saddle to ride naked on. I don't know. Do you want one with a channel in that situation or a cutout? Oh, Arthur, you said it looks like your Monday group ride guys show up on every type of bike, then beer and pizza after. Yeah, it's kind of how my ride is now, but it started like that, but now pretty much everyone rides gravel bikes because the way we ride. When I started, there was guy on a fat bike, guy on a road bike, guy on a fixie. I was on my old mountain bike, but yeah, we've kind of all gravitated to the gravel bike for just how they could just do whatever we need to do. It just makes the most sense. Still go fast on the road, still hit some of the gnarly stuff. So, thanks, Rick. Yeah, it was like I think I got there at 5, so the light was starting to get good as we Like this one, yeah, even better lighting. Jay Dandy said Russ will take over Rivendell one day. I don't know. Do you think he wants to do something like that? I don't feel like Russ wants to deal with the public that much. I could be totally wrong, but yeah, the green sausage. That's the Fargo, right? No, that's a Journeyer. It's a cool bike. Steve Hansen asked, "Have an opinion on the Jameis Renegade lineup?" I don't. I don't know anyone who has one, and I haven't ridden one. I mean, I'm aware of them, but I don't have a real world opinion on them. Oh, Jay Dandy, you were joking about the Rivendell thing. Gotcha. Oh, this was the bike that was the thumbnail. It's beautiful in person. This Gunner, this blue paint, and the smooth fenders just looked awesome. And I also love, obviously, I ride them too. The Velocity Aeron wheels, but John just took this bike up to Vermont and did the around Lake Placid ride that Ted King had posted a video about. I don't know, maybe last fall or over the winter. I can't remember. But he didn't do it in one day. He didn't do it in one go. He spent some time on it, a few days. But yeah, I know this photo is non DSO, but you could also see he has the Grotech brakes on there, which I love. My favorite brakes. Setback Thompson seat post. And it had GRX. I rode this bike, and it's the first time I've ridden the 2x GRX, which is just awesome. Yeah, I liked everything but the saddle. Oh yeah, I don't think Russ tries to hide that he's influenced by Grant. You know, like well, he's done a whole video interview with Grant, right? Yeah, yeah. He cut down on all his bikes, but he kept the Sam Hilburn. Yeah, yeah. I would not expect him to sell his Riv. Yeah, it's funny. I don't like the cambiums. When I first borrowed the Gunner from Otis, I rode it for a weekend, and I was hurting riding that saddle. But again, like we always say on here, you can't recommend saddles. Everyone's different. This little girl ripped around on a bike the entire time, and then when we went out to dinner, was still a ball of energy. I don't. When her dad finally put her in the car, we're like, "She's gonna sleep good tonight." And I was like, "I hope so." She's gotta wear. This is a titanium fat bike, I believe. Um, if Large is still in here, he would know for sure. I'm not 100%, but I believe that's one buddy's titanium fat bike. Did anyone see the new Terry B video with the inline skater? Yeah, that dude is completely insane. I've never seen anyone like it, anything like it. Dude, have you seen this, Dave? He's just following a guy who's inline skating through Midtown Manhattan like a maniac, like doing like a bike messenger but on rollerblades. It's it's amazing. It's like absolutely amazing. An old Wright saddle. Not sure what those ones are. Tim said been soggy AF in Colorado. Yeah, we it's still raining here. Yeah, we had no rain, like I said, for 22 days, and now it's been mostly raining uh, since Sunday late afternoon. Pudgy said the welds look too big for Ty on this one. Huh. I could be wrong. It's happened about 1,000 times. And that's Summit Perry's MB5. Some nice sweet back bars. Tim hates cows. I mean, hate's a strong word. Eric said no rain in North Carolina, but you guys could use some. Yeah, everyone here, no one's complaining about it. I mean, everyone who has a lawn needed it. I don't care about lawns, but I have garden, and nice not to have to carry water out to it since it's across an alley. But and rain just like it's different. I swear to God, when it rains, my garden pops up so much more than when I water it. I don't know what it is, like why. If it's just the amount of water it gets, or if there's something with the minerals in rain. I don't know.
No, it's the chlorine.
The chlorine? Oh, the chlorine from tap water slows the growth, you think?
For your house plants.
Ah. But I always watered house plants with
Yeah, but if you use the other stuff,
the rain.
if you use the rain,
If I use the rain on my house
use
plants.
like distilled water on your
Ah.
house plants, it's so much better.
Yeah, if you just leave water out overnight, the chlorine doesn't it evaporate, I believe? Because I think brewers do that. No, I'm not doing that. Oh, Tim said every river has that flood stage over there. Eddie asked how my back is. My back feels fine, but my back is leading to the problems, which is sciatic pain in my leg. So I would say not that great. It's not horrible. Advil's enough to cover it up most of the time. Today, I haven't taken any Advil this evening, and the way I'm sitting, I'm not in pain. But when I go to bed, I'm going to have to take some. Oh, Rick, you said you bought a padded saddle. You said you'll be selling off your Brooks and sell soon. Uh, huh. Yeah, some guy out on the trail just lectured me about how I should have a padded saddle, and I'm like, yeah, to each your own. But he was also, had 10 different headlights on his bike, and it was a whole thing. Plants know when it's raining. Hmm. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's as everyone knows, I just on all my bikes I run B17s that I ride a lot, but it's just personal, so I don't. A guy at this, I might as well switch pictures while we're talking to this wild thing, but yeah, someone came over and was asking me. Otis pointed in my direction about Brooks, and my bike was sitting there with the Brooks next to one with a Cambium, and I was like, you can try it if you want. I was like, the thing is, some people only like Brooks saddles when they break in. Some I like them when they're new. I like them better when they break in. But yeah, just impossible to say. Nathan said if you use tap water, the fluoride can be bad too. Huh?
Sure, makes sense.
If they're white plants, it probably helps, huh? Oh, Arthur said the Wrights was a less expensive version of the Brooks. Okay. Yeah, I have a vintage French version of a Brooks. It's almost identical in the shape and everything, but I haven't completely broken it in. I switched it over onto my vintage Trek, which I just haven't been riding as much. But that's an Ideale. So the only one of the only differences really is that the saddle loops are kind of built into the back of the saddle instead of hanging below it. So they're actually in the leather with metal around it, which is kind of interesting. Looks super cool, but picked it up at Nutmeg. What's up, Cruiser? Cruiser said leather saddle all day. Yep, that's it's my choice, but not for everyone. Yeah, this thing. I didn't know the guy who brought this bike. He had a couple bikes, but that thing is wild. The spare tire, like full spare wheel on the back, you know. Yeah, I could see this guy having a trailer with a stereo and a sub too. House my buddy Ryan's all city. Again, same wheels that I run, but he's got the White Industry 2x crank on there, which looked really, really nice in person. That's one of the later all cities that I like the paint job of. There's been a number that I haven't been that crazy about over the last few years, but the new ones they just showed kind of having more of their old school aesthetic, like all cities earlier, kind of a throwback. I actually liked if you guys saw any of those announcements. How many spokes are on that lowrider? Lots. Lots is, I think, the answer. Oh, is it 10 o'clock? Yeah. Let's take a break because I need to take a leak. Oh, I made a new members video. I made a new Tunabout video, and I did that this afternoon, and I didn't load it on the hard drive. So this video will not have the most recent names on it, but I guess next Tuesday we'll have the one with the most recent names on it. But yeah, you people who have joined the channel later, I appreciate you. Rick back on there. I also noticed, Rick, it still credited you for all the time you've been a member with the icon, which is kind of cool that it does that. Hey, what's up, Yinzer? All right, yeah, let's do this. We'll be back. We are going to take a moment to thank our channel members. The channel member support is what makes doing all these streams possible, and there are no ads on these streams as they appear live because of the support of the channel members. If you want to support the channel, consider becoming a member or check out our little swag shop below, t-shirts, bandanas, stickers, and all that stuff. Or at the least, just hit that like button for us. All right, we will be back in one moment. Thanks as always for watching. He's in Philly. Yeah, he joined the channel early on, and then he's been super busy, so he hasn't been. I want to tune a boat. Give me tune a boat. I want to tune a boat. Give me tune a boat. I want to tune a boat. Give me tune a boat. I wanna tune a boat. Give me tune a boat. Whoops.
with the hot mic while I was asking.
Yeah.
And I'm
Whoops.
like,
Hot
tough
mic.
dude.
Yeah. I was explaining to Dave, I didn't realize I still had the mic on, who everybody is. The regulars, the OGs. Oh, yeah, let's get a. Oh, Dave, you leave Rick alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so explain why I was asking.
Yeah, he was just curious. Yeah. Just telling him that, yeah. Rick found the channel pretty early on, but then we've actually met up twice now because he came out here too.
Okay.
And we did a ride out here. We did like a Friday night meetup, like just riding out to Kent, getting food, and then we had like a planned like ride, hitting all the like gnarly gravel stuff the next day. So went out to the rubber bowl and all that. So which is now pretty much gone, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is that sucks. But here's a couple of largest bikes. His Monsoon and Salsa Storm Chaser. This Storm Chaser is now in drop bar single speed mode. Hey, what's up, Patty Redbeard? Then I think the bike past the Storm Chaser is the newer Monsoon that is Bronlin's, a gravel badass, if you will. Dave could probably take a sock full of pine cones pretty well. Bronlin, yeah, you know Bronlin, gravel badass. She has a space horse and she recently bought a Monsoon. Oh, Rick said he rode to 2 gigs today, 30 miles. E-bike saved your life. Awesome. That's what I've always said. I'm never, when people want me to hate on e-bikes, I'm like, no way. There's going to be a point where I want to ride them. There's going to be a point where my friends ride them. Like, it's that equalizer. Like I've said, I always say this. I don't know why my dad doesn't get my mom one because he wants to ride his bike. If he got her an e-bike, then when they go on vacation, she could ride with them, you know. You anti e-bikes?
Depends on who's riding.
Depends on who's riding it.
Yeah. I watch dangerous situations on the trail all day.
Oh, since Dave does trail maintenance, it depends on who's riding the e-bike, is what he's saying. I mean, I get that. I mean, there's idiots on anything. There's some people who go down the trail on a time trial bike like an idiot. That's just as dangerous as anyone on an e-bike. It's just the person.
I agree with that.
It's not the bike, you know. But I do agree. Like even the ones they put around Akron, you come around a corner and there's just one sitting on the trail. That's an idiot. It's not the fault of the bike so much, but yeah. Oh, you guessed before I said it. Gotcha, Pudgy. Tim said he got a new battery for his Cat Eye Enduro 8 boomer status. Yeah, a new battery for a Cat Eye is called a Wahoo. Or a Garmin. I'm just a Wahoo guy, but just because it's the first one I bought. But Rick said, "Am I your mom in this scenario?" Oh man. Ah, there's Mike and Bob. Darrow. Darrow jumps in the stream sometimes. My St. Patrick's Day buddy, always. He's a trooper hanging out with me on St. Patrick's Day. Look at that. He had to phone a friend 2 years ago. Oh, there's Bronlin. It's a great capture. I hadn't seen our other friend there in a while on bikes. He's an artist too. He does all kinds of art, but he does really cool big murals as well. Like when you see like the side of building type murals. So
The other guy
oh, that's Darrow.
in the red.
Yeah, that dude can hang.
He was sweating. I had to see him often.
Trooper or babysitter? Trooper at first, babysitter later with Bob. Yeah, Bob's hernia is better. He's been riding a ton. He's so Bob's there in the red. I switched it back over. There'll still be the delay, so that's the problem. But yeah, he rides. I think he rides more miles a year than I do. He commutes to work, then he throws in extra miles. Every year he does a birthday ride where he does he ride his age or does he double it? I don't know. I think he doubles it. But either way, yeah, just always riding. He's amazing. And we all, I mean, I would just say I hope that I could still ride like that. BP. Yeah, we were talking about the Tour Divide earlier. We had the dots up on the screen actually, yep, right there. But I don't follow it super closely, but I follow the Instagram. Follow like the guys I follow on Instagram, and then pop the. This year I've started to pop the dots up, but how large that Darrow does do double his age every year on his birthday. Yeah. There's a good shot of kind of how many bikes were there. You know, obviously there's more off to the left and to the right, but horrible color fringing with that cheap 50 millimeter lens on this silver bike here. It's a $100 lens. In most situations, it does pretty well, but you could see this is the kind of stuff where a cheap lens might let you down a little bit, a lot. And this is fixable in some situations in Photoshop, but when it's this strong, it's hard to get rid of. I think I even toned it down, if you could believe that. But most people probably wouldn't even notice it, especially on Instagram. Couple brothers there. I love the way Zach had his cap on his hat like that. I think for the whole hour he hung out there. Oh, Pudgy, you got your 16 millimeter already? I guess. Yeah, I guess that was a little while we talked about that. Plus, you ordered your 16 millimeter the day, like around the same time I ordered my 28, but my 28 was a pre-order, so I don't know when I'll get that. I was hoping that it would come before vacation this summer, but I don't believe it will. But I have no idea when it's supposed to be out. I haven't even looked into it. I just was getting my name in on the pre-order. So BP said what he's seen on the Gap Trail near Pittsburgh is 40% e-bike, 40% boy racers, and the rest just regular bike tourists. Huh. So doing the whole Gap Trail last year, I would say the breakdown would be e-bikes were a small percentage, but that's doing the whole thing. Like, so passing a lot more of the bike tours and not that many racers. I felt like we were mostly passing day riders and bike tourists over the 4th of July. But I guess getting closer to Pittsburgh would change the dynamic a lot, right? And as we got closer to Pittsburgh, there was a storm rolling in, so we didn't really get to see what like a typical day would look like. So Rick said that dude's name is Zach. He looks just like Galifianakis, and he's as funny as Galifianakis. No joke. That dude Zach is hilarious. So, oh, the guy in this photo in the reddish, maroonish, what do we call it? Pinkish? I guess they're pink. Cargo pants. I need to send a photo. I caught this great photo of him at a cyclocross race last year. He gave me a $2 bill at this thing. He's like, oh, he said, can I pay you for that photo? I said, no, I'm just going to give it to you. I just need to remember to. And then he said, here's a down payment and handed me a $2 bill. And now it's in my pocket. And so it's my reminder to send him that photo. And it's already Tuesday and I haven't done it yet. Damn it. So I need emails. That's how I do run my business. If it's not in an email, you're going to be out of luck. Um, Yinzer asked about the chain waxing and what Yonda thought. Yeah, so Yonda thought we pulled the chains out of the wax when it got a little too cool, but it didn't really have an effect on it. Like, so there was excess wax on the chain that just kind of rubbed off. So I had the bike in the shop to get a different front derailleur and seat post put on. I broke both of them. So broke a carbon seat post and broke that old 10-speed derailleur. Didn't break it. It had a weak spring. It wasn't working well. But so yeah, he didn't say anything about the lube then. And today I actually wiped the chain down really good and just put another layer of the super secret liquid stuff on. I love it. I am going to slowly, as I buy new chains, go to waxing, I think, on everything. I think waxing is the way to do it, especially with the liquid wax. You know, it just makes it so easy after you do one initial hot wax. So, oh, salmon is the color everyone's calling those shorts. It's what you have to say so you don't offend people who don't like pink. I have enough EF stuff. The new EF cap is so pink. So there's Kenny showing up to save the day with the beer. This $2 bill was Chris Pudgy. I'm not sure. Yeah, Kenny ran over to Missing Falls and brought us a couple 4 packs of beer. You could also see in the background, if you kind of see, he's wearing a Space Horse shirt. Um, Missing Falls actually has they call their what's that kind of alcoholic drink that everybody loves now? That's not beer. Seltzer. Yeah, their seltzer is Space Horse, and they do different fruit flavors. Yinzer, what you were saying, still not sure what to do in a long downpour. Um, yeah, so what I'm planning for, because I'll ride the Gunner when we do our bike packing trip this summer. You know, you're supposed to re-lube it every 200 miles. Then if it gets wet, I'm going to pour some of that super secret into like a smaller. I'll just clean out one of my smaller like sample lube bottles, and I'm just gonna put some of the super secret in there, maybe 2 of them even. And so before we go to bed at night, I'll just when it's that time to be re-lubed, I'll to re-wax. I'll just do it the night before. They say ideally it cures for 24 hours, but it's good enough to ride in 4 hours. So overnight, you know, say you do it right when you get to camp, wipe it down, you know, you'll be getting pretty good. You know, the water should be mostly evaporating. If it is rainy, I don't know. I feel like there'd be options to kind of get it a little bit covered, but I'm not that stressed about it. Like, how many times do you ride a dirty chain where your lube has all kinds of stuff in it? So I feel like if you run the wax a little bit bare, it's not as bad as like when your chain is just filled with grit that is totally eating at it. Like when we rode the towpath in that video I posted last week, and it's so dry, you could hear everybody's. And I wasn't riding the Gunner that night. I was riding a traditionally wet lubed chain. You could hear everyone's drivetrains squeaking by the time we got home. So again, like that, I think you're just don't stress over it that much. It's just like a Brook saddle getting wet. If you're able to let it dry, it's fine. People rode leather saddles for 100 years. I think it's the same thing. We're doing damage to our drivetrains all the time with stuff we do. And it's just when you try something new, you just get more, I guess, invested or critical or worried, whatever the word would be. So, Pudgy, you switched to the wolf tooth lube. I'm not getting into some of these comments at all.
You should. They're great.
Everyone can see them. Yeah, the 51.8 definitely holds up better in the soft light, Rick. But like here, where there's nothing, if you're not putting highlights against like a bright, background, like if you look at the shirt in the background, there's a tiny bit of green color fringing, but not enough to ruin the photo. Um, Whereas like on that chrome bike, to me, if I was going to do something with that photo, it'd be ruining it. But here's high contrast scene where it's doing all right too. But Demetrius said can't damage a drivetrain if you're not using it. That's Yonda's theme. He always makes fun of our dirty bikes, and it's like we ride them. Like I do get the whole thing. Like you don't bring a totally, unless it's an absolute emergency, like filthy mud covered bike into a bike shop. You need to at least do a little bit to not anger the mechanics. But when you ride your bikes, they're dirty. Like I think it was last Wednesday when my bike wasn't coming in for anything, but it was last Thursday. Me and Ben were going to ride to get dinner, and it was so funny because my bike was totally covered in that towpath dust everywhere, except you could see where it cut off where I rinsed off and washed the drivetrain and re-lubed it because of that the night before on the towpath. But it was like, I'm not going to wash the whole bike. Like the whole bike didn't need to be washed for aesthetic purposes, but I could not live with the drivetrain squeaking like that. So. Black Pillow, wow. What's up? Black Pillowa? Black Pillowa. Demetrius says haven't cleaned your bike since last year. Yeah, I let some of them go a little too long, but I do tend to at least try to wipe down the drivetrain and re-lube it. That's what we were talking about on the stream where we were huffing chain lube. If you were happen to be there, the stuff that you can put on right before a ride. I actually just bought a whole bottle of that. I had the sample. I'll actually grab it. See what it is. Oh yeah, it's this. I should go full screen. Yeah, it's this Demond Tech X Pro X Light Action. So yeah, this is a lube that you're supposed to be able to put on like right before a ride, where in general you're supposed to clean your drivetrain, lube it when you finish riding. That's not practical for me or most people. Like the people who make their videos where they're like, and then I get home from my ride and I completely wash my entire bicycle before I go indoors. That's probably you, right? That's Dave. But decline, stoked on spokes, oh yeah, what is that? Did I just squirt lube on my eye? Let's reverse. Your other eye. How did I do that?
I think it literally is your other eye. I think you have lube on your eyelid.
Yeah. Huh.
There you go. Rub it.
Yeah. Lube up that eyeball. Dumond Tech, Pudgy says. But yeah, so Triflow is what I've used my whole life, but I think I'm kind of switching to this for that reason. So yeah, what I was saying before I realized I had lube all over my eye. Like I watched Decline do that, Stoked on Spokes. It goes by Josh Ramiro on his channel now, his actual name. But yeah, That's impressive. I get done with my rides like at night or like say on Sundays I'm going to go to my parents for dinner. I come in here, roll in with enough time to switch over to my car and go out. It just I don't do it and then I forget and then it's the next day and I want to ride my bike. So this is what I've been told is something better to use for that kind of thing. I used the whole sample bottle and really liked it. Felt like it kept the drivetrain pretty clean. But so yeah, it's not cheap. This is a $22 bottle. But Yonda was also saying, and it's true from my experience, that you don't need to use quite as much as you do with like something like TriFlow. So that's also, kind of have to factor that in when you say what something costs. So what does it smell like? Oh, this is the one that's odor free. I think it even says that. No, it doesn't say that. But this one has like almost no odor. You're not supposed to swallow it though, so I will not take a shot of it. I'm not wearing a hat. Andrew said, "You pores clean your bike. Just buy a new one when it gets old." Oh, BP said Waterford is having a farewell ride. I saw that on Facebook. Yeah, I'm not going to make it up for that. So we'll be camping that weekend. That's Swift Camp Out weekend. So God damn it, New Day, fourth wall. With the e-bike, Rick, you said you don't wash it, lube it, clean it, or nothing. I hate it, but I love it. It's just not special like the Riv. Oh yeah, I get what you mean. And I had like I've had bikes like that I had no connection to. The bike over here, that's the Trek I have on my trainer. Like one of the bikes that I just like threw a bunch of stickers on it and stuff like that to try and give a personality to, but like no like I don't know, it's weird. No emotional connection to because I have like emotional connections to my other bikes. And some more than others, but yeah, like an aluminum road bike, I was just like, eh, didn't really matter. Nothing about it like makes me like feel anything. That's probably why it sits on a trainer now. But hey, what's up, party size? How you doing? That's a spendy stash for no odor. Well, that's the hilarious thing. If you guys weren't here for the sniff test of all the lubes, everyone knows Triflow smells like bananas, but then it tells you not to. You're not supposed to inhale it. Then why make it smell so delicious? It's ridiculous. It's about 10:30. Um, Glad you jumped in, party size. Also, let me know if you are going to make it this way. August. I think you said August, maybe. My one friend Aaron said another friend that he believes knows you was talking about coming this way. So we were riding on the camp out vid I did last. He was bringing that up. So I was wondering if you guys were in cahoots. But I can't remember his name now, even though we sat around a campfire at Nutmeg. And, well, I can't remember his name because we sat around the campfire at Nutmeg and drank a bunch of whiskey. So if you leave it out in the rain, it stays water lubed. I mean, were any of these photos worth getting through before we wind down? Got Funny Brad drinking his beer, people hanging out, people checking out bikes. We got Suspen and Duerte. There's some more bikes. Oh, party size. You said July 21st ish, maybe. Yeah, keep me posted. Because I could also try and see how much of my schedule I could keep clear because it's still clear as of now. like I know the last time you mentioned. So why do I have Michigan on my schedule for the 29th? Oh, that's when my family's going, but I'm not going to be able to do that. Oh, party size. You said not sure who it'd be. You haven't talked to anyone about it. My name's going blank. He was sitting around the fire at Nutmeg, but he lives, I think, in Hartford now. Uh, Maybe you guys just met that night and were chatting, and Aaron thought maybe you knew each other before. So, not my Aaron, different Aaron. Aaron with the crust romancier. Did you see Ron's comment? Whole bottle of Triflo spilled out in your car this weekend, all soaked in the carpets. The summer heat really brings out that fragrance. That's probably not bad. Everyone's like, probably thinks you're. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. People probably pour that on your tree and then hang it out. I I cannot remember what the hot pink bike is. Um, that is Summit Perry's girlfriend's bike. Is it a Soma? Look at those. Look at the fork crown. Um, I've known what it is, and now I can't remember. It looks like Surly dropouts. What Surly would have been in pink like that, though? Everyone's. Oh, so I was right. The new Albion. Oh, it was Rob party size. Yes. Oh, I missed so many comments.
Everybody said their fork looks.
Everyone said Surly, but then Large said it's a new Albion, which bike is essentially the same as a Soma. So, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I'm closer than the rest of you. I don't know. You guys keep saying Surly, but Large was there, and he's saying it's not a Surly. Oh, oh, party size. You're saying you're. That's right. You're going to try and do Johnstown to Akron and then home that weekend. Yeah. Oh yeah. Uh, Summit painted the bike is what you guys said for sure. Jay Dandy said it might be a Schwinn. This sounds now like when I read Facebook comments. Someone will be like, "Can anyone identify this building in Akron?" And like someone does it like 4 comments in, but then there's like 300 more comments of people guessing what it is. Hate Facebook groups. Just, they're great as long as you don't open the comments. Could be a Treckendale. Summit himself, Spike again. The MB5. It's an older Cannondale, which is kind of sweet. Oh, then this is everyone wearing the "Damn It Otis" T-shirts that Micah printed. I had mine on too, but everyone's like, "You got to be in the picture," and I was like, "Yeah, I got it. I got to take the picture. Make sure you guys don't f it up." It's salmon, damn it. You're right, Jay Dandy. She does have a Schwinn, but I don't think it's that bike. Salmondale. Oh, then this shot, my favorite. putting John in the light and letting the background go kind of dark. It works. Wait, what do you guys think the pink bike really was, though? My Eddie Murphy laugh. Oh, that's Otis riding Micah's bike there. The Atzo. And then in the background, I did ride that Bianchi mountain bike for a little while. Just took a little spin around on that. It was a cool build, too. Non-Dale, as Party says. Then the after-party beers. All right. And that's it. What time is it? 10:37. Yeah. Eddie Welker said, jealous of you people in your non-corporate local bike shops. Yeah, we were just talking about this. It's amazing. There's like 5 in Cleveland. Today I just walked down or rode down to the one down the street from me to get some parts for a vintage build. I guess I see if that's still working. Oh yeah, the stump jumper. So yeah, I got an old shop down there with a guy who's an expert on all the old stuff, knows everything about them. So yeah, we are lucky around here. Anywho, I got a video probably coming out tomorrow or Thursday, and me and Dave just shot one that needs to be edited. Gonna ride my bike this weekend, so there'll probably be more. And hopefully we'll do something cool on Tuesday. I think we'll have a guest next Tuesday. Get back to doing that. It's more fun than when I just sit here and try and come up with things to say. So, all right. Peace.
See myself on your YouTube.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is not
Fitzwater photo.